What's up, everybody? We are here for a another episode of Abby's Abode, and I will say this: from a technical standpoint, there's a lot that we need your help on today.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
we need some votes, and we'll get to that. Um, but we're here, and as always, we got to have Abby with us. So, Jody, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. I'm okay. I'm ready to talk about some other things.
Me too.
I will say this: work sucked. Add
I
in whatever
actually,
word.
yeah,
Yeah.
I actually didn't work today because I have to be there. I normally work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I have to be there tomorrow and Thursday for some training. So I took today off. I worked over the weekend at the detox facility that I work for. So
Okay. Okay.
it was. It's been a stressful few days.
Yeah. I understand that.
So
Like,
that's why I said in the chat, like, I need you guys today. I need the spirit lifting.
yeah. Well, let's. Hopefully, we can do that. Hopefully, we can have some fun discussing some films and some other things as well, and looking at some wonderful art. And um, we've got a few things lined up today that we want to do. So, I guess we can go ahead and get into it because I know that our movie discussion is going to take a little bit. So,
Yeah.
uh, if you want to, we can start with our music section, and you can take the lead.
Yeah. For Caleb's Corner today, he had a couple of shows, one in Pennsylvania and one in Atlantic City. My friends, Karen and Christina, they went to both of those shows. Um, and Karen was a sweetheart. She had bought me tickets to go to the show in Atlantic City, but just financially, we couldn't make it work on me getting out there. So, yeah, these are some pictures. I actually got these from the Celebrating Meatloaf page on Instagram. So, really appreciate all of the pictures from the shows that they put up. They have a really good photographer. So, yeah, a couple of shows that he did over the weekend. I think they have two more shows left before he heads out on tour with Trans Siberian Orchestra, starting in the middle of November in Green Bay, Wisconsin, ending at the end of the year in Columbus, Ohio. If we can swing it financially, I would like to go to the one in Cincinnati because that's the closest to Indianapolis. They are coming to Indianapolis, but it's the West Coast tour. So Caleb won't be on that one. This is the East Coast tour. Cincinnati is the next closest city. So definitely, hopefully we can get that worked out that we can go there after Christmas, which would be a fun time. I believe it would be just me, Chris, and Logan. So that would be a fun. I think Logan would really get a kick out of that show. I think he'd really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, that's some fun things coming up for Caleb for the rest of the year. I'm sure
yeah.
he's really excited about it.
Hopefully you get a chance to go to that show because
It's a
I
fun
know that
show.
would mean a lot, and I know it's a fun show, and I definitely want to try to go to the one that's in Albany. So, um,
It's such an amazing show. It's a spectacle. I mean, it's so much fun. The lighting and the lasers and the pyro and the fire, like they do such a good job with it, and it's different every year. So you'll never see the same show twice.
that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely want to go check it out. Let me welcome in the other part
Oh,
of the
other
show.
piece of music
Oh, go ahead, go ahead. I'm
for
sorry.
you guys. I didn't send a picture of it or anything, but Brandon Lake came out with a new album on Friday called Coat of Many Colors. And we pretty much have been I personally have been listening to it pretty much nonstop since it came out. It's an amazing album. Brandon Lake definitely has a gift, and he also just came off of over the weekend winning 4 Dove Awards. which is like the Christian version of the Grammys. And it was so amazing. The whole album is amazing. Brandon Lake has an amazing voice. My son is, you know, loves him. And I posted an Instagram story about Brandon Lake, and Logan just, saying he's one of the greatest people on earth. And Brandon Lake actually responded and said, he laughed and said, precious. So, yeah.
So,
Make
and
sure you go listen to that album. I was just playing a little bit of it for Jeff before the show
yeah,
started.
I was
Um,
just going to say you played a song for me, and I have immediately added that to my playlist to play tomorrow while I'm at work. So.
I really like all of the songs. Adoption Song is probably my favorite. It's beautiful. So make sure you go check that album out. It's called Coat of Many Colors.
I can't wait to check it out. I know I'm gonna love it. So yeah, thank you for sharing with all of us. So yeah, go check it out. Darn it. Um, all right, so let me welcome in the other part of our show, which is all of you. Um, so we've got Dylan, John, Deanna, Jeremy, Janelle, Rara Kitty. Jody's in the chat too, by the way. John G, James Chadwick, Diana, um, Richie Hurdy Sketch. What's up? Brandon, Alicia. I'm in the chat too, by the way. Erase your mind. Um, so thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. It does feel a little bit like winter today, here in the Northeast. I'm not sure where you are, Brandon, but if you're anywhere near the Northeast, it feels a little chilly, and that can be, it'll be fun. It's letting you know that the seasons are changing, but I'm not quite ready for the um just absolutely brutal winter that I think we're gonna have. But anyway, um, yeah. So Jody, you ready to get to some of these movies and let some people do some voting here shortly?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I'm just because I like this little thing, I'm gonna play this little slasher thing, and then we'll be right back and we'll discuss our slasher bracket. So here we go. All right, so that was a lot of fun. So we're talking about slashers this week. Obviously, you all had a little bit of homework. I don't know if you kept up with Jody, but Jody was watching these films for research, and I will say that we had a conversation about one uh, that that might be a little shocking if you've never seen it before, and maybe this was your first time getting to watch it. So we'll see. But this is the bracket. Um, this is how the bracket was laid out, and we've got the matchups that we have, and let's go ahead and get started. The first matchup was Scream, the original, versus Scream 6.
Mm.
So Scream, Jody, tell me, and in the chat too, tell me about the first time you saw Scream, when you watched it, and what you thought about it.
Oof. I was probably in high school. I just remember being absolutely petrified of Ghostface. And it took until I watched the Scary Movie spoofs that I stopped being scared of Ghostface. Because, when you see him, drinking and partaking in certain extracurricular activities, it you can't unsee that. So it kind of, it makes you laugh, and I guess makes it less scary. But uh this was cutting edge then. This was a big deal, and um not new in terms of slashers or anything like that, but this is the original. It's the OG. It's tough to beat.
It really is tough to beat. And the first matchup is going up against Scream 6, which
Yeah.
what did you think about Scream 6? I've really enjoyed what this new production group and group of writers have done with the franchise. But what did you think about Scream 6?
I mean, is what is her name? Is it Jenna Ortega?
Yeah.
So 100%, like, she's the new Scream Queen. She's the new final girl. I mean, she has broken into this industry, and I think she's gonna stay, around for a long time. She's got the it factor for sure. And obviously the girl that plays her sister is as well. Loved the return of Hayden Panettiere in that, and obviously you've got Gail Weathers there. You had some nice little nods to the old ones,
Yeah.
um, and it kind of kept things together, which I really really liked, and it had an interesting storyline. I I enjoyed where they were going with it. I don't know if they'll make more, but I don't know if they announced that they are doing like more. But yeah, I think it's a good solid movie.
That's awesome. Yeah, they have. Let me see. I know some people are saying that it says poll something about the poll, so we'll try the link again. Um, so they have announced that they're coming out with the 7.
Are they?
They are coming out with the 7,
Okay.
which I'm excited about. Excited to see with what direction they go in.
Mhm.
Um, I so just to let people know, I just actually voted. So um,
Yeah, I did too.
okay, so let me know if you're still having trouble, folks, and I'll try to fix this in real time. But okay, so we got some votes. Um, okay, awesome, awesome. Thank you, Richie, for letting me know that it wasn't working. Hopefully, it's working for everyone now. And just because I like to see the real time results, right?
Yep.
So let's see the real time results here. I'm just gonna make this full screen. Take that off, and let's see. We've got 7 votes so far, and right now, Scream the original is running away with it. Um,
I
I
kind of
must,
thought that might happen.
yeah. So we'll refresh, keep going in real time. Yeah, Scream is kind of running away with it. The OG Scream.
The
So
OG. It's hard to.
yeah,
It's tough to beat an OG.
it is. It
As
is
much as great as Scream 6 was, it's tough to beat the original.
very true. Very
Mhm.
true. It is always tough to beat an original. Um, there are some out there that rival their originals, but not many. So yeah, this cool. So we'll keep that open for a couple more minutes. And Jody, I'll go ahead and pull up the bracket again because we'll get talking about the next matchup,
Mhm.
which I'll be honest with you, this one for me is really, really tough. But this is Texas Chainsaw Massacre versus Candyman. This is tough.
Oof. Yeah, that is a really tough one.
So let me ask you this: had you seen both of these before this bracket?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So gotta tell me your thoughts on this matchup and which which movie did you find the most terrifying? Let me ask that question.
They were both terrifying for different reasons. It's
Agreed.
tough to, obviously Leatherface is, iconic, but, Candyman is too. It's I don't know. I don't know. It's just tough. It
Yeah,
really
this one's tough. This one's tough. Um, yeah, I see for very different reasons. I love both of these films. Honestly, with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, for me, just the fact that most of it was done during the daytime, I thought was a unique spin on horror
Mhm.
because at that point it was like most movies were at night and pitch black and yeah, I mean there yeah, I mean I you know what? There's a reason why I didn't watch Candyman until I was much older
Yeah.
and I will say in my community, in the black community, I had one of those mothers that was very superstitious and very adamant about not partaking in certain things.
Mhm.
And the whole Candyman thing, like, kids were saying, "Oh, don't say it in the mirror" and all that. So it was going around school, and everybody was just kind of terrified about it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ask my mom if I can watch it. And she said, "Absolutely not." And she had to explain because what she didn't tell me until later in her life was that she watched this movie, and she said that after she watched it, for, like, the next 20, 30 minutes, all she did was pray because that was how terrifying it was to her. Um yeah, for very different reasons, I'm gonna pick Candyman, but I will say that the OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre was
Mhm.
absolutely incredible, and I enjoyed it. And here's the link for the next poll, so you can choose your winner between Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Candyman. Um, so I'm gonna say we're finished with our voting. I would say for Scream and Scream 6. Scream, as no surprise, the OG, the original, ran away with it. So
Yeah.
we'll give that win to
Scream.
Scream, the original. Um, Let me take this off here so people can see the poll there. So Scream ran away with it. So we'll give you folks a couple minutes and then we'll get back to the next matchup, which is another tough one.
Mhm.
Halloween, the remake from 2018 versus Terrifier 2. Now that's a
Yeah. I don't like clowns. I would they're so good for, again, for different reasons. I think Rob Zombie did an amazing remake of Halloween. I loved the backstory, and he Rob Zombie knows how to make movies. I mean, it's so good. He really brought new techniques and stuff to it, and lighting and camera angles, and um yeah, I love Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween, but Terrifier 2, that takes you to a whole nother level of nausea.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like so you've got, this amazingly made story about this, backstory of Michael Myers, and yeah, like Deanna said, kind of gave you sympathy for him, like, you know, and it kind of lets you see too that, if Lori wouldn't have stabbed him originally, he probably wouldn't still be doing what he's doing. because he surrendered himself to her in the movie, and it, it's tough. It's such a well-made movie. But Terrifier 2, I thought Hostel was gory, and then I saw the first Terrifier, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, that is something else." And then you watch the second one and thinking, "I don't know how they can top the first one." And then you watch the second one and you're like, "Wow.
Yeah.
Wow." And I love that it made you laugh too. Like, yes, you're watching this clown massacring all these people, but there are moments that like he really makes you laugh. The
Yeah.
whole scene in the Halloween store, and oh my gosh, it was just so funny. There were moments that were funny, but it was, I mean, forgive the title, but it was terrifying.
True. Very true. Very.
So, oh, I don't know. I think if
Yeah.
if the first Terrifier wasn't on the bracket, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm gonna have to think about it for a minute.
Let's check in on the vote for Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Candyman. I will say that this is much closer than our previous poll, but I believe that we'll go with give it one more refresh there. We'll go with Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the win in that one.
hmm
So I'm gonna send out the next one
There's
here.
22 people in here. Only 8 people voted. Come on, guys.
Yeah, let's get
Let's
some
kick it
votes
up
here.
a little.
Yeah, let's get some voting going on. But yeah, that was I will say that Terrifier. So I watched All Hallows Eve
hmm
when it first came out, and that was the first time that we saw Art the Clown. And folks, that's the link for Halloween, Rob Zombie's remake, versus Terrifier 2. So go ahead and vote on that one. And yeah, let's get those votes up.
Yeah.
Let's get those
Let's hit
votes
some
up.
double digits. Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, Terrifier 2 for me. Honestly, like seeing where they've gone from All Hallows Eve all the way up to Terrifier 2, they just keep one upping things. They
hmm
just keep one upping the gore. They keep intensifying, art's just craziness.
hmm
Um, and I want to see what I really want to see in Terrifier 3.
Yeah, they're making
Even
another one.
Yeah, even if they don't give me the same amount of gore, I want to know more about Art's backstory.
Yeah.
Like I want to know a
hmm
little bit more about where Art came from.
Why is he the way he is?
Yes, why is Art the way that he is?
Why
And
is
they
Art the Clown Art the Clown?
right, and they did a little bit of that in All Hallows Eve,
hmm
just a little bit at the very beginning, but I want to see a little bit more about that. And if you saw the very end of Terrifier 2, I
Mm.
won't give it away, but we'll just say that Art was we'll just say he was rebirthed.
Yeah, that's saying it lightly.
Yeah. That's putting it mildly. There we go. We got some double digit votes now. We got some,
Yay! Keep it up. You guys are
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, keep it going here. This one's a pretty close one too.
Mm.
Yeah, this one's a pretty close one. This is I let me pull this up on the screen here. This one is pretty close. I'm gonna give it a few more refreshes here, but yeah, this one is
Mm.
fairly close.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so Halloween Oh, it got even closer right there.
Oh.
6-5. So
Hmm.
hit that. The last link that I posted in the chat is for this poll. So which one are you picking?
Oh,
Are you
oh. Can Terrifier 2 pull it out?
we shall see. I'm gonna hit the refresh again, but if you're just joining us, let me start off by welcoming you. This episode we're covering our bracket, our slasher bracket for our horror movie discussions, which the winners, the winner of this is going to go on to be a watch along on this channel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're doing this. All right. So
Oh
this is a
no.
first. This is a first. Um, we just
Oh
got another
no.
vote. We just
We
got
need a
another vote.
tiebreaker.
So we're deadlocked at 6 here,
Oh my
and
goodness.
who's gonna be that tiebreaker?
We need a tiebreaker.
Who's gonna be the tiebreaker between Halloween, Rob Zombie's remake, and Terrifier 2? We're gonna
Ooh.
give it. We're gonna give it another. Well, we gotta break the tie. So
Yeah.
we'll be patient and break the tie. But
Yeah.
someone please vote on these films. I'm keeping watch on it. I know Jodie is too. Um, keeping watch on the poll here to see if it moves at all. Is it gonna move?
I don't know. We need a tiebreaker vote.
We do need a tiebreaker vote.
Yeah, if you haven't voted yet, click on the link and see if we can break this tie between Rob Zombie's Halloween and Terrifier 2.
Here's the link one more time.
We need a tiebreaker.
We do need a tiebreaker. Oh,
Uh-oh. Oh no.
and it just got deadlocked again. So Terrifier took a slight lead, and now it's stuck at 7-7 again.
Oh my goodness. I did not expect this from this particular one.
From this one, yeah, this one, okay, yeah, I didn't. So John G is saying he voted.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
Oh man.
Deanna saying if she could vote again, she would. This thing is stuck at 7-7. 7-7.
Oh my.
So Art the Clown and Michael Myers are really battling this out right now. Um, I keep refreshing. I don't see any changes just yet. But if you have not voted, please go vote. Please let us know which film you would like to see move on in the bracket. Halloween, Rob Zombie's remake, or Terrifier 2. Let us know. I'm gonna refresh. Up. All right. So I'm gonna call it right there. Because what's gonna end up happening is if I let it go on for another 2 minutes, it's gonna get deadlocked right at 8-8. So Rob Zombie's Halloween just won.
Okay.
So we're gonna call it for Michael Myers and say
Can
that
we get a Michael and Art movie?
you know what? I would love that.
That'd
I
be
would
kind of
love that.
neat.
I would love that. So there you go. There's the final tally. Watch. I'm gonna refresh this again, and it's gonna be 8-8. So I hope not. But all right, there we go. So
Okay.
Halloween.
Woo!
Halloween,
That was a
Rob
nail
Zombie
biter.
remake. That was an interesting little vote
You
there.
guys did
So
awesome.
that was great. That was great. So next All right. So I'm not even gonna pretend to not be biased because I'm very biased, but the next two are the next matchup is gonna be I Know What You Did Last Summer
Mm-hmm.
going up against the original Saw 1. This is tough.
It's tough only because people have had some valid arguments, like, is Jigsaw really a slasher? And, you know, I think in a lot of ways you can put him in that category, but you also, there's reasons why maybe he's not, because he puts people into these extreme situations and kind of has them kill themselves. It's like a Charles Manson kind of weird. Yeah. So, and then obviously I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's, if you're old like me, this was a staple of your teenage years. You got Sarah Michelle Gellar, you got um uh Jennifer Love Hewitt, and you've got Freddie. So uh, it's, and I think it was watching this the second time around, it was more difficult because of the Scary Movie franchise. Watching I Know What You Did Last Summer over again after seeing a Scary Movie franchise, you can't help but almost say Jennifer Love Huge Tits. So, yes, it was a staple of, my teenage years, but Saw is it was so different, and it was so, nobody really expected that twist in the end. So it's tough. It's tough.
I
Personally, I think I'd have to go with Saw, um, just because it was so different.
You know what? Me too. And I'm gonna say this right now: Saw is just getting trounced.
Yeah.
Saw is getting destroyed right now.
And, I think that's because, we have some people in the chat that this was a staple of their teenage years too. I Know You
Yeah.
Did Last Summer was everybody got scared of the guy with a hook. After
Yeah.
that, it was real. Like I said, it's iconic for your teenage years if you're old like me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I'm right there, so I understand completely. Sean, what's up, Sean? Thank you for joining us. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, this is close. This is another close one. This is another close one.
Yeah.
So right now, I Know What You Did Last Summer is leading 6 votes to 5. So
Oh.
so let
Are we gonna end up in another tiebreaker?
are we gonna have another tie here?
Is Saw gonna come out with the win?
Yeah, let's see here. I'm still refreshing. Oh man. I mean, it's like every time I think Saw's gonna catch back up, it doesn't. It doesn't. So I don't know. We'll keep this one open for a few more minutes too and keep talking about them. So Jody, I know you talked about the twist
Mm.
to Saw.
You can't ever. You can't ever. They can't ever recreate it.
Right.
I know that they tried with the other, the following Saw movies, and the other ones were good too. Um, but if you had, like, with Scream versus Scream 6, you can't beat the original because nobody saw that coming.
Right.
Nobody. And you're like, when the ending happens, and, spoiler alert, avert your ears, when he gets up at the end, you literally just sit there with your jaw on the floor going, what?
Yeah.
The whole time?
The whole
The
time.
whole time. Oh my goodness. And it was, like I said, that can never be recreated. That shock factor will never be quite what it was.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, I
won't.
mean that
Yeah, the Saw
twist ending.
franchise won't be able to recreate that
No, no. And
because then
they
after the next one, you were looking for it.
right,
You were
right. And
looking
they
for things that are hidden in plain sight, and I think Bray had a lot to do with teaching us that way too. Looking for things after that,
yeah,
but you weren't really looking for that in the original.
no, no, we weren't. We really weren't. And they've tried to recreate that, but again,
You
it's
can't.
like you can't, you just can't at this point. So
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna refresh it one more time, but I do believe that I know what you did last summer is gonna end up moving on in the bracket. You know what this is like to me?
Hmm.
This is like watching the NCAA tournament and seeing a 15 seed upset a 2 seed.
Yeah.
Honestly, like that's what this feels like to me. Because
Mm-hmm.
I thought for sure that Saul was just gonna run away with it. But again,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, depending on when you saw these films, you might have a different connection to them. And I
Mm-hmm.
that's oh, really?
Oh my goodness. Oh
All right, so let me not speak so fast. We're at 50-50 right now. So we got 14 votes. Someone break the tie, please. Who's gonna break that tie?
no.
If you haven't voted yet,
Oh my goodness.
if you haven't voted yet, please get your vote in. Break the tie.
Break the tie.
Sean is saying Saw.
Oh.
Oh, this is funny. Mark said, "Hey everyone, I was just about to say, not so fast, Jeff."
Oh man.
Oh, we're still stuck on 14. Who's gonna break this tie?
Yeah, but I mean, it is a tough one because they're both
It is.
great for different reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the interesting thing about the bracket and the matchups is that you can say that about most of the matchups is that they're
Mhm.
different kind of horror movies. So,
Mhm.
so it depends on how people feel about one over the other, if they really connect with um if they really connect
Connect
with
with one or
the
the
twist.
other,
Yeah.
or you connect with both of them.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, Jody, with I know what you did last summer. I mean, we've all been teenagers and
Yep.
we've done some stupid things with our teenage friends, and you always hope that things aren't going to turn out the worst. And that's a situation of where things turn out
For the
really,
worst.
really. So it's like, oh
Yeah.
no.
And it's like I said, it's tough. It was tough to rewatch it after seeing the Scary Movie franchise because they did such a funny job with that. But I mean, they're those actors and actresses were all people that pretty much made our teenage years.
Hmm.
Like I said, Sarah Michelle Gellar. You've got Jennifer Love Hewitt. You got Freddie Prinze Jr. You got Ryan Felipe. Like,
Yeah.
those four people were in pretty much every teen movie that we watched.
Yeah. Every
And
single one.
I mean, even you had Ryan Felipe and Sarah Michelle Gellar in Cruel Intentions.
Yeah.
You had Freddie Prinze Jr. and he was the heartthrob of our teenage years. He was in so many different rom-coms. I mean, he
All
was
right.
he was our teenage heartthrob.
I have to admit this. I'm amongst family, so I can admit it. No, no judgment. people. No judgment. One of my favorite movies was She's All That.
Oh, I love that movie.
I watched that movie more than I care to admit. Yes, also Scooby Doo. Thank you, Deanna, for saving
Yep.
me from continuing
Again, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie Prinze
And
Jr.
the most awesome thing about that is they actually ended up together
Yeah,
in real life. Like Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar are married. And that's so, because they met on making these movies. Like Ryan Felipe and uh no, I don't remember her name. Reese Witherspoon met on making Cruel Intentions. Obviously, they're not together anymore, but you know, 10 Things I Hate. No, that's not Freddie Prinze Jr. That is um oh, crap. What is his name? Heath Ledger.
oh, yeah, yeah. All right, so
Oh no.
Saw. Um, I'm gonna refresh it one more time and watch. It's gonna get deadlocked again. Um, but Saw, much like in the final act of the movie, turned some things around. So Saw has the victory.
There you
So
go.
there you go. So Saw takes the win in that one. That was a tough battle there, but John Kramer, aka Jigsaw,
Yep.
has defeated the man with the hook. Is what we'll just don't ask me to remember his name at this point. It's been years since I've watched it, but
Was it Will somebody? Bill somebody?
I think so.
Game
Yeah,
over.
yeah. Game over. Game over.
Game over. Classic.
Thank you, Sean. All right, so that closes out one side of the bracket. So we've got the OG Scream. We've got was it Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Rob
Uh,
Zombie's Halloween.
Rob Zombie's Halloween and Saw.
And
Moving on
think
to the
about that for next week. Now you
yeah,
have Scream against Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And now you have Rob Zombie's Halloween against Saw.
yeah.
So
So
there's
that's
there's part of your homework
for next week. That's
for
right.
next week.
All right, so we're gonna move to the Haddonfield region of the bracket, and of course, I mean the number one seed, right? Um, if it's gonna be the Haddonfield bracket, it's got to be Halloween, the OG, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go there. Halloween, the original Halloween. Um, of course, Jamie Lee Curtis. I will have to say that I had a massive, massive crush on Jamie Lee. But Jamie Lee Curtis running away from Michael Myers,
Mm-hmm.
um, and really enjoyed this movie. I go back and watch it quite often. Um, Even though I enjoy the remakes, I do love the OG. And then it's going up against Scream 5. So,
Mm-hmm.
Jody, let me know your thoughts on both of these. What did you think about the OG Halloween, and what did you think about Scream 5?
Um, so full confession, I actually watched Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween before I watched the original. So that I don't want to say that diminished the original Halloween. Um, I don't want to say that diminished the original Halloween, but there were obviously technological advances that it kind of made Halloween feel a little dated to me. Obviously, it was still amazing, but it's still it's I mean it's the OG, you know. It's the original Halloween. And then Scream 5, that was the start of the new story with the new characters that went on into Scream 6. And honestly, Scream 5 had an interesting like kind of twist at the end, trying to figure out, you know, where these kids came from.
Yeah.
And, to figure out, spoiler alert, that was Billy's daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a really good twist that not many people really anticipated.
Yeah. And
Um,
taking that sequel and tying it back to the original was
yep,
very smart.
very very smart. But I think Halloween here, no contest, because you had Scream, it was the OG. You gotta have Halloween the OG, and I have a
I
feeling most people are gonna feel the same way.
Well, I was gonna say, if this were a football game, it would look a lot like what happened to the Denver Broncos a few weeks ago against.
It would
And
look a lot like the Carolina Panthers season
well,
if
listen,
if the Panthers
I
were
can't
Scream
say
5. Yeah.
very much because the Buccaneers don't even get me started. Um, and we get to play each other twice, so
Richie, I didn't say it was bad. I just said I was a little tainted by watching Rob Zombie's remake first. It's still, it's the OG. It's a masterpiece in its own right.
it's a classic.
It
It's a
is.
classic, and
And I think this, our family, Insider's family as a whole, we respect the classics.
absolutely, absolutely. All right, folks, we got 8 votes, even though I mean it's a runaway right now. Michael Myers is
He's Michael
just
Myers.
he's he, he's boat racing Ghostface right now.
Yeah.
Um, this. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have a mercy rule. We're gonna mercy rule Scream 5. It's over. That
Yeah.
one's done because
Yeah.
there's no way at this point that
No.
that Scream 5
No.
is gonna catch up. No matter how
We're gonna
many.
put it out of its misery.
Yeah. Uh, no matter how many times Ghostface gets it has someone else. It doesn't matter for Scream 5. Unfortunately, it really was a good movie, though. I will say,
Yeah.
Scream 5 was a really
It
good
it
film.
really was. Yeah.
It really-
No one screams like Jamie Lee Curtis. Facts. She
Now,
was the scream queen.
yes,
100%.
yes. Now I know another family member has a very vested interest in this next one.
Hmm.
Friday the 13th, the original, versus Terrifier. Now, I know what Joe would say if he were here,
Mm-hmm.
and that's Friday the 13th or else. So that's his vote. I had to pull the picture of a young Kevin Bacon,
Oh yeah.
because just because. But yeah, Friday the 13th. So Jody, let me know when you saw, and same thing for the chat. Let me know when you saw Friday the 13th, the original, for the first time, and what did you think of that twist?
I don't remember when I saw it for the first time. Obviously, I went back and rewatched it when we were doing all of this, but um I don't know. Joe is gonna kill me, but I don't know if I really like the twist.
Okay. I've heard some people say it.
Like, I mean, to me, it wasn't. It didn't. It didn't feel like it wasn't Jason yet. Like I have so much more vested interest in Jason the character and how he came into it in the second one. So I yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of the twist, but it was a solid classic movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a classic. it definitely is a classic.
And I think
I
that's
would,
why some people did suggest the second one.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I'll say this too, though. I'm going to say this about Art the Clown, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to all the horror icons that we think of when we think of horror movies.
mhm.
But I think by the time the third movie rolls around, I think Art the Clown might be in that discussion of maybe he's one of the icons.
Mhm.
Maybe he's one of the icons.
Mhm.
I just gonna throw that out there. But
Mhm.
um I'll say this: the first time I saw Terrifier, um, no one prepared me for that scene. And if
Oh.
you've seen the first Terrifier, you know which scene I'm talking about. You know which scene I'm talking about.
Oh. Terrifier was so iconic for me because I went into watching it, A, being afraid of clowns, and B, thinking Hostel was as gory. I mean, Hostel made me nauseous. I had a hard time watching that twice. And I didn't think anything was going to beat that out. Then I watched Terrifier, and Terrifier makes Hostel look like a kid's show.
Yeah.
And watching the second one made me even more nauseous. So I do end every time I've watched Terrifier and Terrifier 2, you do end it with a little queasy feeling in your stomach.
Yeah, I he honestly that scene, just to go back to that scene, and I apologize for those of you who are squirming right
Squeamish.
now in your chairs, or wherever you are. But
Ugh.
yeah, that oh my
I'm
gosh.
getting nauseous just thinking about it.
Just thinking about it. Yeah. So yeah, that's rough. That was rough. Um
And
oh man, Sean.
we love Friday the 13th because, you know, obviously Tom Savini is an he's a legend,
Yeah.
and
Oh
he
yeah.
created Jason, and it's seeing his work is a beautiful thing. He's a master, and I have great respect for that. But Terrifier terrified me. I enjoyed Friday the 13th, but I wasn't terrified. Terrifier terrified me.
Yeah, Terrifier, yeah. I mean, it checks a lot of the boxes, I'll
It
say.
does. And I think you're right. I think after the third one, and I think they've signed on for a fourth one as
I
well.
think so, yeah.
Um, yes, Art the Clown is going to be in that bracket with Michael Myers, Jason, Ghostface, Leatherface. He's going to be in. He's going to be in that category for sure of one of the greatest slashers of all time.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. So let's see who is taking this, Art the Clown or Jason Voorhees. Um and me and Sean are talking about a funny scene from Jason Takes Manhattan. If, if you've seen it, you know that there's a scene where dude tries to box Jason Voorhees because he was on a roof and had nowhere else to go. So he was like, you know what, I'm gonna put up my dukes. I'm gonna fight. He's gonna have to beat me. And Jason just knocked his head off. That's not hyperbole. That's not, oh, Jeff just, maybe it was a really bad hit. No, he knocked his head clean off.
Yeah. uh and I think if you're just basing it off of the first Friday the 13th movie, Jason wasn't the killer.
Right.
So technically, the slasher in Friday the 13th is not Jason. to really, it's Jason's mom going up against Art the Clown.
True.
And like I said, I know Joe's gonna hate me for saying that, but you know, it's you're looking at the movie as an individual, and obviously Jason is a horror icon. Everybody loves Jason. It's iconic. Jason Voorhees is an icon. He's one of the best slashers of all time. But Friday the 13th wasn't Jason. But I do think Terrifier has another chance to come through as a winner if we do like we've been talking about doing a gore bracket.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think Terrifier has another opportunity to come in from a different angle. And I think, you know, if Saw doesn't make it to the end, that will have a chance to come in at a different angle. You know, when we do a gore category. But in terms of, you know, slashers, classic slashers, I think that's why most people are going with Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think
Sean,
we have not seen the last of Terrifier, Art the Clown yet.
oh no, not at all. Not at all. And Sean, as he's done a couple times here, very, very on point joke.
Oh no.
Yes, this one wasn't split down the middle. Sean, comment of the well, we know how Jody feels about that one. So up next, now this is going to be funny because the next two,
oh Lord,
we get to talk about Child's Play. We get to talk about Chucky, and then we get to talk about Sleepaway Camp. Which, hey, that's another twist that a lot of people just don't see coming. So I know Jody saw Sleepaway Camp for the first time last week, so I gotta hear your thoughts and let me know your thoughts in the chat. What did you think about Sleepaway Camp?
So me and Chris watched it together, and he kind of caught on in the beginning in saying you get a lot of Friday the 13th vibes with obviously, you know, the camp being on a lake, and you know, it does have that classic Friday the 13th kind of feel to it. And I think it was maybe halfway through the movie that he was like, I think it might be her. I think it might be her that's actually killing people. And then yeah, I was like, yeah, I could kind of see that. You know, she's a little weird, very quiet, obviously has, you know, based on the beginning, has been through a lot of stuff. You know, that's a traumatic experience. And what made me think, okay, this is going to be a strange movie was the aunt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think my first thought actually was, is that a dude playing the aunt? I wasn't sure. Not that, you know, like, yeah, that was my first thought with the aunt. And, you know, she was really strange. Very, very strange. And yeah, we got to the ending, and Richie doesn't want me to spoil the ending, but
Yeah,
you sit there at the end going, what the F did I just watch?
Depending on when you watch Sleepaway Camp, might have been the actual first WTF moment that anyone ever had before WTF became a thing.
Yeah.
If you caught this back in the 80s, you probably said WTF. If you caught it,
oh, I did say that.
Oh yeah.
2 weeks, you know, a week ago.
Yeah, a week ago. But yeah, I mean, Sleepaway Camp, the twist. I won't spoil it for Richie because Richie's never seen it.
Oh
It's
my
just
gosh.
it's interesting. And yeah. We'll just leave it at that. But uh, Child's Play. Let me do this too. I'm gonna put up a couple pictures here because darn it, I want to. Um, so here's Chucky. Lovable, adorable, my buddy Chucky. Um, I had one of those dolls, by the way, the My Buddy
Really?
doll. I did. And after I saw this, I put that thing in the closet and I never played with it again. Um, because I watched this movie way too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That was
but
like me with it. That's why I don't like clowns.
yeah, but yeah, not gonna spoil it for Richie. So don't spoil it for him. But yeah, just your jaw will be on the
Yeah.
floor. Probably. Yeah, he wanted to be my friend, but I didn't want to be his anymore. Um, but yeah, what did you think about the OG, the OG Child's Play?
um, I was never really a big fan of Chucky, honestly. Um, I I think Chucky has a chance to come through. I'm going to reveal my vote here. Chucky has a chance to come through with paranormal. That I think for me, yes, Chucky is technically a slasher, but the origins of Chucky, like it started with something paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Chucky has a chance to go into that as well. But Sleepaway Camp, um, they you that won't ever be able to come into another category. Like
No,
Sleepaway Camp is 100% slasher. Like yeah, that was something else. I
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, it looks like Chucky's gonna move on to the next round. So, um, I don't think we have to keep refreshing here. I think Chucky is
Yeah,
fir-
I kind of
firmly
figured, but
firmly in the second round. So we'll end that one, and we'll go to our final matchup of the evening, and then we've got some art to get to. Not Art the Clown, but actual art to get to. Um, My Bloody Valentine going up against Freddy Flippin' Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street. Let's start with My Bloody Valentine. When's the first time you saw it, and what did you think? So
oh my
Jody,
gosh, Freddy was always the scariest slasher for me. So for me, I mean, I enjoyed My Bloody Valentine, but for me, Freddy wins hands down. You can't. So all of these other slashers have a weakness. I don't feel like Freddy really does because you have to sleep. Like your body at some point literally cannot survive without sleeping. So it's you, you can't beat Freddy Krueger for me. Like if it comes down to hey, Michael Myers, Jason, uh Leatherface, Ghostface, and Freddy, I'm gonna go for Freddy every time because that's terrifying. Not being able to control you sleeping and him being able to get you in your sleep is terrifying. Like, everybody knows the rules thanks to Scream of how to not die in a horror movie. So you employ those tactics against Michael, against Jason, against Ghostface against, you know, Leatherface, you may end up coming out alive. Nightmare on Elm Street ain't gonna happen. So
Yeah,
that's truly terrifying for me.
it is. It is. I mean, you got to go to sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to sleep. And
Mm-hmm.
you got this bastard waiting on you.
And you can't control what you dream about.
Right.
Like, you have no control. None. And that's terrifying.
It truly is. It truly is. So I got to move to the next one. When did you first see My Bloody Valentine?
Over the past week, I had never seen it before.
What did you think about this?
I enjoyed it. I think it was different. Um, I I watched I haven't had a chance to watch the original. I watched the new one, but um, yeah, it had some interesting scenes in it. The kills were good, and it was good. It was a good solid movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, again, depending on when you watch this, like if you've recently watched it for the first time, compared to if you watched it when it first came out or a few years after, especially given some of the things that have been done in movies from a special effects standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
storytelling, that kind of thing, it's not on par with some of those films that we've seen in years since. Um, I think for the time that it was made,
Mm-hmm.
it was very well done. Um, so yeah, I enjoyed it, but if you're asking me to pick between Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, and My Bloody Valentine,
Yeah.
I don't even think it's that close. And apparently, the folks that have voted don't think it's that close either.
No contest.
Because I will say that Freddy has run away with this one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, big time, and it ain't even close. I mean, you want to talk about a goose egg in football?
Yeah.
If this were football, this is and I know Sean might appreciate this reference. This is 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense kind of shutout. That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is.
Yeah. And it's not to say that My Bloody Valentine wasn't a decent movie. Just you can't put it up against Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, no.
It just won't hold a candle to it. If it was up against maybe, I Know What You Did Last Summer, or even maybe Sleepaway Camp, then you start to have a dialogue about it. But you put most things up against Nightmare on Elm Street and they're gonna fail.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Freddie right now is like Ed Reed patrolling the secondary, just shutting down My Bloody Valentine. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, it's not even close.
What's
You know
up,
what?
Gonzo?
Is I think that one's done. What
Yeah.
what do we say, folks? I think it's pretty well decided at this
It's
point.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And at this point, if you vote for My Bloody Valentine, you're just doing it to
Be nice.
no, not even that. You're just doing it to ruin Freddie's perfect score. And that's between you and Freddie. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep.
Uh, between you and Freddie. All right, so let's look at the Haddonfield side of the bracket and
Pretty
talk.
classic.
Yeah, so let's talk about the ones that are moving on. So Halloween, the OG, moving on. We're gonna get a Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees matchup in the second round. So I like that. I like that. Um, so Halloween and Friday the 13th are moving on. Child's Play. So we're gonna get a Chucky and Freddy Krueger in the second round. Chucky and Freddy Krueger matchup in the second round for that one. So just to recap the other side, the Woodsboro bracket, we got Scream, the OG, we got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we got Halloween, Rob Zombie's remake, and we've got Saw. Saw narrowly defeated. I know what you did last summer, but that's what we have on the other side. So that's that's the bracket. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's your
and
Elite Eight, folks.
that's it. That's it. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fun to whittle these down even further, to see who makes it, and there are some interesting matchups there. Scream going up against Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Interesting.
Mm.
Um, Halloween though, I mean, the remake of Halloween going up against Saw. Um, that's a good one. But then the other side of the
Hanzo
bracket
saying Michael all day, every day.
all day, every day.
That's how I feel about Freddy.
Yeah. Um, and then the other side of the bracket, it's like a fantasy booking of
Yeah.
parents that we've wanted to see in horror movies.
Yep.
Everybody wants to see who's the baddest one. Is it Michael Myers or is it Jason Voorhees? Well, in our bracket at least, you get to decide that next week.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Yeah. Ghostface versus Leatherface.
yeah,
New Michael Myers against Jigsaw.
yeah.
OG Michael Myers against Jason. Chucky versus Freddy.
I mean, hey,
Couldn't ask for a better bracket. I mean,
that's a pretty darn good bracket right there.
these are
So
pretty much your iconic slashers.
yes, yes. So we'll do that next week, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
really looking forward to that. I'm really
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I may have to go back and watch all these again. Because I was watching them in the mindset of, okay, I watched Scream and then I watched Scream 6. Which one was better? Now I have to go watch Scream and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and decide which one is better. Like, yeah, Scream is good, but is it better than Texas Chainsaw Massacre as opposed to being better than Scream 6? So I may have to go watch them all again.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So
Rob Zombie's Halloween against Jigsaw.
there you go.
Some of them I know where I would probably vote with these, but to do adequate research, yeah, I may have to go watch these again.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I know we're going to end the show with some artwork, but I know you had a few things you wanted to share about our beloved Bray Wyatt. So I want to go into that and just these next few things and some art.
So, I told you guys earlier that I picked up at my detox substance abuse facility over the weekend, and I had a patient. We have this big coloring book, and we just print stuff out, and they can grab one and go get their color pencils or markers and go color for a little bit. And patient came up and said, "Hey, I want to grab a new picture to color." So they were flipping through the book and stopped on this one and said, "Ooh, I want to color this one." So from my perspective, being behind the nurse's station, this picture was upside down. So the moth was upside down. And I said, what are the freaking odds that, I would be at work somewhere that I haven't been for the past 6-8 weeks, and have a patient pick that picture to color. And from my perspective, it's upside down.
Yep.
Like, I just looked up and went, "Thanks, Bray."
That's
And
special.
I mentioned that to this patient and said, that's literally, our friend Bray Wyatt. That was his new logo. And I pulled out my phone and I showed it to them, and yeah, they were like, That's insane. Like, what are the
Yeah,
odds?
yeah, that's again, that's that's letting you know that he's still communicating.
Hmm.
You know that's and I wanted to share this too. I know you sent this over to me too
Hmm.
about
Um,
Jason.
yeah. So this came out on social media, um, that in the lead up to his return to Extreme Rules, um, Jason Baker's grandmother passed away, and Bray, being the wonderful individual that he was, offered to push back his return. Um, because obviously Jason Baker is real close to his grandmother, and if he needed to go do what he needed to do, that he would. He it says he wasn't going to do his return without him, and that just goes to show you how wonderful of a person he was.
Absolutely. And then I wanted to share this last one that you sent to me as well.
Oh, Natalia did this interview, and the what she said is way longer, but she pretty much said that when he was training before he came back, that he was giving other people advice on their promo work, and you know saying things like, well, why don't we change the wording this way or say things this way, um just of his own free time, just sticking around, you know, to give people advice. And I think he would have been, if there was a moment where he physically couldn't wrestle anymore, I think he would have been an amazing like trainer, coach. He could have come back as a, you know, as like a I don't know, like a promo expert.
A producer, like a main
Mhm.
producer backstage,
Yeah.
or yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I know we're going into overtime this evening, and we've got some artwork that we want to share, and we're going to start out with a few of Bray. So we'll get started here with the first one.
Hanzo said, all these horror villains are good, but would get squashed by the man in the woods. Ain't no one like him, the ultimate evil, the abomination forever.
That's right, brother. That's right.
Hey, when he was off of WWE for 15 months, we actually did that at one point.
Hmm.
We
Yep.
fantasy booked The Fiend
And a
against
lot
slashers.
and a lot of you were a part of that discussion. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, we that's right. That's right.
Yeah, it was.
Here's the first piece of art that we have here.
I love that. I like it that it's a mirror. Also, again, credit to Eric. His Instagram page. He is our, artwork consultant. So most of the time, especially with Bray art, I will go to his Instagram page and grab the screen grabs of artwork that he's posted from other people. So I did venture out a little bit to find artwork of other wrestlers, which we'll show you here too. But yeah, I love this one. I like it. Almost looks like mirrors.
Yeah, I like
So this was in our Facebook group. Um, yeah, this was in our Facebook group, and
that's awesome.
went to a local promotion today, and the lady checking tickets was dressed as the Buzzard, which that's an amazing costume right there. I mean, you
Indeed.
got the box and the shirt. I mean, that's just awesome.
That is. That's
So
great.
amazing, so amazing.
That's great.
So Corey Graves posted this one. His son, I think it was his son, did this on his pumpkin, which I'm like, damn, that's impressive. Like, I want to do something like that.
Yeah, that
And
really
Bray would have loved that.
that's awesome.
Uh, Piece from Black Mass Designs. He does some amazing, phenomenal artwork as usual, and you got Uncle Howdy in the back. It's almost like a smoke effect,
Yeah.
which is really neat.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
I like
I
all this.
found this on Eric's Instagram page too. It looks like it's like a pencil drawing, and I love the detail in his face. Like you can literally see the lantern like shining on his face. And I just think that's really cool.
It really does have some great effects.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So this was posted in our Facebook group too. Um, I don't know where they got this poster from, but that is freaking awesome.
that's awesome. That's awesome. If the person that has this is listening, or if you get wind of this, please let us know where you got that, because I know
Yeah,
quite a few people that would like to have it as well.
yeah, for sure. uh, we have had so many people in our Facebook group posting tattoos that they've gotten of Bray, and so this one is, I don't remember his name off the top of my head now, but yeah, our Facebook group is the Firefly Funhouse fan group on Facebook. It's actually um, one of the two largest Bray Facebook groups on Facebook. So pretty proud of that. Eric, my buddy Eric, who lives in, not the same artwork consultant Eric, but my buddy Eric was the one that started the group way back when. And, you know, the first time that I met Bray, he already knew about the group. So just goes to show you how much Bray paid attention to things. But yeah, I really like this tattoo. It's definitely on my list of things to get.
Yeah, yeah, this is awesome too.
That one looks like pencil too.
That was this. I really like this.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. I love the fireflies in the background. I think this was just a picture that I grabbed um, because that was the last time that he had a match. That was the pitch black match. And I actually watched that with a patient last night and they
Oh wow,
loved it.
wow, that's amazing.
I love this one. You know how I am with those comic book
Yeah,
cartoon styles. Um, I love that
yeah, I like that too.
because you've got the real life puppets
Hmm.
in a picture. Um, this is another person in our Facebook group, same sack, who got this tattooed on his chest. Like that's some pretty badass detail.
Yeah, that detail is impressive.
Yeah, I'm sure that hurt like hell.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. Especially right there in that area.
Yeah, yeah. So this is an edit that Eric did, our artwork consultant. I love that he's in the mirror. Like, how many horror stories have we had about, you know, not saying things into a mirror?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So erase your mind saying that Bray and Alexa Firefly Funhouse art was sold originally on WWE Shop as a T-shirt. Now I think also the poster. Okay,
Oh, okay. Hmm.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, that's a really dope edit. I like
Mm-hmm.
this. Is really good too.
Yeah. Um, so this is somebody in our Facebook group. Their kid drew that.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
So you can see in the corner, it looks like her name is Mariah Mason. So that is one talented kid right there.
Very, very talented.
Mm-hmm. This is a Britney piece, kind of a play on the Boar piece that Kyle did. And I love how she's kind of married those two together.
Yeah, really awesome.
Beautiful, as always.
Yep.
So this is a Kyle piece that he posted. Um, Kyle's a master. I mean,
Oh,
what else can you say about Kyle that hasn't already been said? I adore that man. Uh he's on vacation at the moment in Tennessee in the mountains. So, but yeah, he posted this a few days ago.
awesome.
I wonder if this was like a one of those modified fiend masks that he was talking
Uh,
about.
yeah.
Hey, we had to bring some other people in too. I love this edit by Black Mask Design. Obviously, you got the righteous Vincent and Dutch, that we love. We'll definitely be getting Vincent on this show soon. Um, I've been talking to him about it, and he's all game for it. We just got to figure out a date that works. So keep your eye out for that because that's going to be awesome. But I love that he did the coffins of Jeff and Matt Hardy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that was so cool.
I saw that in the background. That's awesome. This is
So this
awesome.
is Georgia April Art on Instagram. I believe that's all pencil.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
That's I mean, Vincent is not really the easiest person to draw like Bray because he is tattooed everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, so to get the detail on his tattoo is like that must have taken forever.
Yeah.
And then they went, as far as to do the background
Hmm.
and the detail in his like just his hair.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing.
Amazingly done. Yeah.
So this was sent to me on Twitter by Anthony Ice. Um, and he said this is righteous fan art. So kind of bringing them to life in female form. That's really cool.
Yeah. That is cool.
Mm-hmm. Very talented.
Fair.
Oh, I love this. Um, I think that Karen Cross actually reposted this on Instagram if I can remember. But it's at Lordy Graphics, and I love that they have Cross as the Joker, and you know, uh, Joker Funhouse, which is even cooler. And if you have been seeing Karrion Cross's tweets lately, there's some interesting things coming. I heard that he's about to get a big push, so I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that. And they are real big on October and Halloween, and um, Scarlet, the new episode of their horror thing that they're doing with haunted places is out, and they went with Drew McIntyre. And Cross does pop up at one point. Um, but Drew is freaking hilarious. Like, if you haven't watched that episode, Drew is funny as hell. He's incredibly dumb for what he said, but he is very much like the dude off of Ghost Adventures. He ran in there and was taunting the crap out of whatever was there, and I'm like, oh, somebody pray for Drew.
Yeah.
This is another Brittany K piece of Scarlet and Cross, and I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome.
Very, very well done.
Awesome. He also had a tweet where he mentioned the name of Sammy Callahan. Where if you're a Impact fan,
Mm-hmm.
all about Sammy Callahan, you know that he's a free agent right now, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that was interesting too.
Zach, thank you, Brandon Wayne Lewis. Uh, hey, we got a Richie piece in the house.
I really like it.
I love this. Didn't I think Cross retweeted this if I'm not mistaken. I know he if I yeah, liked it or retweeted it or commented on it if I remember correctly. Um Yeah, I love this. The detail. I mean, it looks like a picture.
This is awesome.
I mean, it looks like a picture. It looks like a photograph.
Yeah,
That's insane.
very well done.
Mm-hmm.
All of these are.
Oh yeah, everybody's very, very talented. This is Project Crimson on Instagram. I really like this because it reminds me of those Bray pieces where you're seeing like his different characters
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you know being never cross a killer, which that's a wonderful play on words. This is Jason Schneider. I believe I found this on Instagram too. Um, I believe that's paint and the detail in his face, and I mean that's just amazing. You guys are all insanely talented.
so talented.
Hmm.
So
This is a black mask design. He has such great edits, man.
yeah,
He's so good at it. You got Cross in the background, with a very Jason style knife.
yeah,
And then you've got Scarlet in the foreground with a very Michael Myers type knife.
yeah,
So, you know, that's pretty cool.
yeah. Awesome artwork as always, folks. Um, we really appreciate all of you and all of your talents. Thank you so much
You
for
guys are
sharing. You're awesome. All right, Jody. Any final thoughts before we wrap up this extended version of ABODE?
um I hope you guys enjoyed doing this horror bracket, this first of many. Once we get down to the final four, I think we're going to talk about doing some watch alongs.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm really looking forward to how this is going to play out next week.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. We'll get to other brackets, with paranormal movies, gory movies, things like that, found footage movies, all that kind of stuff. So this is going to be going on for a little while, and I'm loving it. And as always, Bray, we miss you. And that's another thing. Send me either in a DM on Twitter or Facebook, whatever. I need pictures or videos of you with Bray because I'm working on a rather big project.
Awesome.
But yes, Bray, we miss you. Um, we know where you are. We're going to the same place anyway. You just beat us there.
Well, folks, thank all of you for joining us this week. We really appreciate it. And yeah, come back next week and let's talk about the Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm.
And whittle it down to the final four and let's figure out what movie we're gonna watch.
Just a reminder, you got Scream versus Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You got Rob Zombie's Halloween versus Saw. You got original Halloween versus the original Friday the 13th. And you have the original Child's Play versus the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's right.
So be thinking about that over the week.
And even if you need to do a little bit of research and go rewatch those movies, go do it. Go have some fun. All right, folks. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Please drop a like on the video if you don't mind before you head out, if you haven't done so already. If you are new to the channel, if you like what you see and you want to check out for more, hit that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell so you know when we're coming out with some new content. And speaking of additional content, we'll be back on Thursday for the fallout to Bound for Glory. And if you haven't heard, Impact Wrestling is going back to TNA Wrestling. total nonstop action wrestling
Mm-hmm.
in 2024. So a lot of exciting changes, a lot of different things I think that are going to happen over the next several weeks. So come check it out with us on Thursday evening. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank all of you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Jody. And we'll see you next time on Abby's Abode. Take care, everyone.